Hey everybody. So I obviously talk a lot about gardening on this channel. And primarily that's what I'm gonna focus on. But I do want to talk about something that's actually been driving me crazy for the last few months. And I want to talk about it and bring a different perspective to this problem. So we know we have a problem with illegal immigration in this country. It's not a new problem. It's been going on for a long time. And as of late, this administration talks about kind of the root cause, and there's even been talk like floating around about giving some of these other countries like money, paying them to stay in their country, or paying the government to help them, clean up whatever it is that they think is keeping people from staying there. And it really drives me nuts because for those of you that know what I do, I have my own business. I took my business off social media. I was really disgusted with the censorship and whatnot. And so I'm sort of forging a new path for my business. But I work with women artisans, 19 countries, so they can work, provide for their own families, and make fair trade wages. So they make a living wage. They don't work in sweatshops. They're the reduced risk of sex trafficking. Their children get educated. I mean, it literally just sort of breaks the cycle of poverty for them. So one of the things that drives me nuts is, this sort of, I don't know why this administration keeps talking about, I heard yesterday Kamala Harris was talking about like climate change and racism even, and, all this stuff that, contributes to illegal immigration in the United States. And here's what I have to say about that. If people are paid fairly for the things that they create in their own country, they're going to thrive in their own country. We can blow our money on things that some people blow lots of money on, things that are made in sweatshops or made in China in factories where people are treated like garbage. And we have a role to play, for sure, in reducing the amount of illegal immigration into our country. And it's by treating people with respect and caring about the people that make the products that you buy. So to Vice President Kamala Harris, you are missing an opportunity here, because you could be talking about that. You could, instead of talking about all of these other things that really don't make much sense, you could be talking about how to help people thrive in the country that they live in. And, giving governments money, I don't know, I'm just taking a stab in the dark here, but it seems to me like a lot of these countries have some corruption and power-hungry people in office. That's nothing new, right? And so you're really not helping the people by giving money to the government. And you're really not helping people by giving them money to stay where they are. Like, it's almost like bribery. It's like welfare. It's like, it's paying people to stay home, right? That's not working out so great for this country, is it? We have a need right now where people need employees and they can't get employees because they're being paid to stay home. I'm not really sure who thinks it's a good idea to perpetuate these same exact scenarios, but how about encouraging Americans and people all over the world to purchase things that are fair trade and ensuring that people make enough money for what they create. So here's a great example. We have artisans in Mexico, and I have actually personally been able to be on a Zoom call with one of our artisans there. And they make these really cute earrings I'm actually wearing. These are called the amber studs, and they're a teardrop shaped stud. Super reasonably priced. And she makes enough money because we treat all of our artisans with dignity and we pay them a living wage, and she makes enough money to provide for her family. She makes enough money to send her kids to school. She makes enough money to thrive in the country that she lives in. Like, here's the thing. I know that people want to come to America. We all know that. We know that people want to have opportunity, right? Most people are not taking this trip because they want a free ride. Honestly, I think people really want to better themselves and better their families, right? So, but, can you imagine taking some of these trips, these dangerous trips that people take with their kids? Like, would you want to leave the only place you've ever called home? Probably not. So if you had an opportunity to thrive and make enough money to provide in the community you live in, you're probably going to choose that. So here's my challenge to Kamala Harris. Why not start treating every people with dignity, and stop being condescending, and start to talk about things like that, like fair trade and people making enough money in their own country. Why don't you talk about that? Because our artisans in Mexico want to stay in Mexico. They want to stay where their whole family is. They just want to provide, and people want dignified work. People don't want charity. Charity really kind of takes your dignity away over the long term. We all feel pride when we earn our own living. We feel pride when we provide for our families. So this has just been bugging me. It's been bugging me for weeks. And then, of course, she just went there, and said some really weird, dopey stuff that doesn't even really make sense. Instead of really, the root cause, is work. People want work, right? That's why they come here, because they want work. And I know lots of people who, I don't know if they're here illegally or legally, but I know that they're hard workers. And so my impression is that people don't want a handout. Some people probably do. Some people probably are criminals. I get it. Not everybody, you can't paint everybody with a broad brush, but I also know a lot of people would never want to leave their own community. And as a mother, I don't want to leave my community. I don't want to take my kids on a dangerous journey. So think about that, and think about supporting companies that pay a fair trade wage, obviously by American. I'm totally down with that. We have artisans in the United States too that need to make a living wage. So we have 19 countries represented, but that's what I do for a living. When I'm not gardening and momming, and I'm also a chiropractic assistant part-time, and I do, some social media stuff too. I am an advocate for women, and I believe all human beings should be treated with dignity. And I think that if you want to learn more about how you can make some choices to purchase things that would be, life-giving instead of supporting sweatshops, and, there's a lot of things that you shouldn't buy. Like, don't buy Nikes, right? Don't buy $120 Nikes when the people who probably made them in that factory in China probably making 25 cents an hour. Don't support companies like that. I can give you lots of information about companies to support, including Trades of Hope, and buying through me, where that the artisan in Mexico gets a fair wage for these beautiful earrings, and they're like $23. It's not even outrageously expensive, but it's enough to give her a living wage so that she can provide, and that's what we all want. So Kamala, come on, get with the program. Fair trade. People deserve to be treated with dignity.